Hey patrons, it's Scoots with a couple updates. I'm trying to do these videos to keep you updated. What were my updates? Join our Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, it's just a community hub app and website. You can use it as an app on your phone, your computer. I would equate it. It's similar to Slack, and it offers an alternative. We tried forums in the past that didn't work, and it just offers an alternative place for Sleep With Me patrons to gather, that's not on a social media platform. So it's just like, you see all the posts instead of them being prioritized and mixed in with, whatever the platform's goals are. So it just offers like, it's just a place for people to hang out and chat and post pictures of their pets. And so join the Discord. It's free app. It's free to join as a member of the Patreon, and it's the best way to stay up to date other than watching these videos, or just listening and consuming the Patreon content and sleeping. Um, so there's that. Oh, notifications. If you feel like you get too many email notifications from Patreon, people cancel about that. And it's always like, I try to put these out 4 times a year, but maybe I'll put one out every single month. Just follow the instructions down here. There's an easy way to only get emails from Patreon um, when it's something important. Otherwise, every time I post one of these videos, you get a notification. And some people that don't like, some people it just doesn't work for. So just shut those notifications off, and then you don't got to worry about it. You only get a notification like based on your like billing stuff, or if there's a direct message from me, you can control that. The instructions are in this post. And then Metaphor. Hopefully, I'll post this video soon. So on the free show, I do pay, things of like, hey, this is why you should become a patron. And I did a recent one. Maybe I'll post the audio or a link to the audio in here. And I got some feedback. I think like, because I was like equating Sleep With Me to being a restaurant, right? But it's a free restaurant, where you don't have to pay, and a lot of people are regulars, uh, because it's kind of similar to Sleep With Me. Like most people consume either multiple courses or multiple episodes a night, or they come and listen to 4 or 5 episodes a week. And the reality of making content on the internet is it's got to be free. It's just the reality of it. Like exclusive only has not worked for, but it's not been shown to work. And so, um, like you go to this restaurant, you eat for free, but then the people that optionally pay for the food, right, can support it for everybody. And that's like the cool thing about making stuff for the internet when it works. And that's like based on this semi-fixed percentage of like 0.5 to a few percentage points of the people that are at the restaurant, the regulars, not even the people that are just popping in for they, wow, this is really good food, puts you to sleep, it's free. And so and that's kind of fixed, right? And I think for Sleep With Me, the numbers I was using, and I like it's like, when 3% of those regulars either support the sponsors or support the show directly on Patreon, um, the show is going. And then if it hits like 4 or 5%, the show can flourish. And kind of like in the past when we were putting out all those Ray episodes and stuff like that. And it was like, but yeah, then everybody gets to eat for free if that 3 to 5% of people support the show, either the sponsors, because all our sponsors are direct response. I'm trying to change that now, because it's it you know it, so um but I got some feedback from people that were like, hey, well, what about the one that was confusing, which is the way most things I post is, but two, that what about this wait staff, right? And some people thought it was like, oh, you should only tip 3 or 5%, but it's like, oh, I didn't even realize that's like a whole nother layer of the metaphor, right? It's like the food's comped, and you could choose to pay for the food, but you should still tip your wait staff. But it's also like, think about that. If you were the wait staff and only 3 to 5% of people tipped, um, that would be a precarious position. So always tip. I don't know how to make that into a metaphor for Sleep With Me within a metaphor and then explain it clearly. But I think it's in there. It's like, um, I mean, when you get comped food, you normally tip on what the bill was going to be, or that's how I do it. It's like, for example, like a weekend ago, I ate for free breakfast at a hotel, or it was comped. It was like because of the I was staying on points or something. So breakfast was free, but there was a server. So it was like they brought me a bill, and then it was like, okay, what's 20% of the bill or whatever. Um, and then you tip on that, even though like the cost of the food would so you still see the cost of the food, and then so anyway, I don't know how to communicate that for my next read. Uh, I don't know. So post in the comments, but it's like okay, but it is in a sense like Sleep with Me is like a community garden or something. I don't know. Making stuff on the internet for free is kind of weird because then people like equate it to apps, which it's not like because there isn't like one platform. Like it's not like a free Sleep with Me is not like a freemium app that you play because it's just a much different model. It is more like these models of like optional because anyway, thanks patrons. Make sure to change your notifications and join our Discord. You can follow those instructions. Um, and why would you want to join the Discord? It's just a good place to communicate with other listeners and hang out. Trying to figure out other ways to leverage it. We've got about, I think, let's take a look. Good question. I'm rambling. How many patrons are in here? 816. 816 of you fellow patrons are at the Discord. Thanks, patrons.